I'm Christine Stavropoulos.
Κι εγώ ο Νίκος Σαμίδης. Και αυτό είναι το Greek Podyssey, το podcast της Ομογένειας.
A podcast for Hellenes worldwide, sharing stories, culture, identity, laughs and a little bit of tsugrisma along the way.
Γιατί μπορεί να φύγαμε από την Ελλάδα, αλλά η Ελλάδα δεν έφυγε ποτέ από μας.
Welcome to another episode of the Greek Podyssey. It's a special one today. We've got studio guests.
Oh, in studio.
Yes, you guys are very blessed.
So you guys are millennials, right?
Yes, older millennial. I think.
Gen X / millennials?
No, I'm millennial. I think millennial cut-off's 1980. Is that right? 1982. So anyway, yeah, millennial.
Somewhere around there.
Definitely not Gen Z.
All I know is I wish I was on the border. I don't want to be boomer.
Are you boomer?
Sorry, you are.
Well, my kids always say, "Oh, your mum, you're such a boomer."
In heart and soul, yeah.
So let me introduce. Well, hello, Nico.
Christine, thanks for inviting me
Remembering
here
me.
today.
We have an episode today focusing on generational change and a generation as we move further down generations, mixed marriages, and how Hellenism or Greekness works into that scenario. We've got Jason Bardas, whose dad is full Greek, born in Greece.
Yep.
And your mum with a Scottish background.
Scottish, half Irish.
Oh, right. She's got it all happening there.
Yeah.
All the Celtic stuff. I love it.
Ooh.
And we have Stefan Mitchell,
Hello.
whose dad is Greek
Yep, very great.
and mum Australian.
Yeah, from Cronulla. Very Australian.
Very, very important. For people overseas watching us, because we've got quite a few listeners and viewers from the States, Cronulla is very Australian, and many, many years ago, it was the home of the Cronulla riots.
Really put a foot on the map. That was 20 years ago, actually.
It was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cultural clash there. So we'll start off with our generation. Well,
Why are you putting me in the same generation?
no,
with
you don't count because you grew up in Greece. So you didn't have that, growing up.
Well, I'm the trouble. Because I was born here, grew up in Greece.
Yeah, but you were
So
helped.
I caught both ways.
So with us, when we were at school, we were stuck in this, we don't want to be Greek. We want to fit in. We want to fit in with the blonde, blue-eyed kids. We want to have Vegemite sandwiches. We didn't want to stand out. We didn't want to really, show our Greekness. It actually showed in our unibrows and the extra hairy legs. I thought, yeah, she's Greek. We stood out whether we wanted to or not. And we had all those challenges with us, growing up with Greek parents, trying to fit into a different culture whilst living a different culture at home. And it was very clear cut. But, we won't go into, because we've spoken about ours. It's about you today and what it was like to grow up in a house with two cultures.
Are we starting with trauma first?
Yeah.
Generational
How long? Only 45 minutes. I don't know.
Okay,
This
so
is part one.
what I'll do is I'll move on to when I had my kids. I then had discovered my Greekness by that stage. And I had two kids of two Greek parents growing up in Australia. And I didn't want them to lose that part of the culture, the Greek culture. So, when they were younger, it was same sort of thing, that all their friends, they went to a school where their demographics was very Australian. So, Jason, you know me from when my kids were young.
Yep.
How did you view them growing up?
Hearing you say discovered my Greekism
Greek.
is the Greekness is the wildest thing I've ever heard. Because
I thought the same thing.
I feel like when you were born was the birth of Greece.
What were you like before you discovered your Greek?
I know, like what? I can't even picture.
So is it because rather than discover it, you embraced it?
I embraced it. The more I looked into it and discovered, wow, look what my culture has, my heritage. It's got so many things that it's offered the world. Then I felt this burst of pride, which just continued to grow. And I think it's continued to grow the more I thought my kids would be moving away from it. I wanted it to be more prevalent to them. So I latched onto it even more. And
I mean, I think a lot of us are in the exact same boat that you were in as well. And I think the same would go for your kids as well. Because growing up, my mum is who I would refer to as Aussie, even though she has Scottish and Irish background. She embraced the Greek heritage and still does. Learn how to speak Greek fluently, loves the music, still does Greek dancing now, like loves it. My parents, because they were proud of their culture and or my dad's heritage and culture, and my mum loved it, pushed it onto us as well when we were young. So growing up, it felt like a lot of the things that we were being pushed into was on occasions a chore, like Greek lessons. And like then things that we may have enjoyed about our culture, we wouldn't have shared with our friends at schools. For example, I did Greek dancing all through high school, but if someone said, "What did you do last night?" It wasn't Greek dancing.
why?
I don't know. It seemed like most, especially young men my age growing up in the Shire as well, weren't finishing school and then going dancing of any kind, let alone Greek dancing or anything like that. It wasn't something that I was like proud to celebrate at that time.
Were you embarrassed?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess you would say I was embarrassed of doing that. Yeah. But now I'm like having two kids of my own. I'm emulating what my parents did, and I'm Googling nearest Greek dancing facilities for my kids to explore their culture as well. It's like, exactly. I know.
To
and
willingly explore their culture.
So I feel like we're not that far removed in terms of like trying to keep that. And I don't know if it's because we grew up in the area that we grew up as well. I mean, considering I'm a teacher now and I teach so many different cultures, and Anglo, like Australians, would be one of the lower, like the minorities. But growing up, I was the minority. I was maybe one of 3 Greek kids in my grade. And like the WOG term was very prevalent and stuff like that. So it wasn't something I was very keen to embrace. And it wasn't until I think I traveled to Greece for the first time when I was 13, where I was like, wow, like I love this place. And even then when I came back, it wasn't until after high school where I was like, it's my favorite place in the world kind of thing. Greece is my favorite place in the world. And like,
When was that defining moment when you thought it sort of tipped you over to the right side?
I think in my head, I think I traveled over there in 2009 or something like that with my brother, just the two of us without my parents. And by that time, my brother had already gone by himself. He had spent a lot of time with my family. We were almost adults then. So our experience of the time there was a lot different, of the culture and of the country itself. So coming back from that trip, I think was a huge turning point, because I immediately booked my flights for the following year and went back by myself again. And then since then, the year doesn't feel complete without a trip over there. Obviously, it's not possible every year, but we try and make it happen all the time. And when someone's like, "Oh, where are you going to travel next?" It's like,
It's always great.
yeah,
Greece and.
yeah. Sometimes there'll be a tie on, yeah.
So were your parents happy when you met a nice Greek girl and you married her?
Yeah. I mean, it helps that my wife is lovely. But saying that in present company, but that's another thing as well. I find that like not just Greeks, but and Stefan would probably agree as well. But the Greek Australian thing, you almost, I don't know if you seek that out, but you bond with those people really well. Like obviously Stefan and I, and Stefan's younger brother to a lesser extent, Thomas, are all best friends. We've and that's not from growing up together. That's meeting through circumstance, whatever. But having a Greek father, Aussie mother, I mean, that kind of bonded us immediately. And then meeting Greeks in Australia when you're just out in the world, it's like meeting
Family.
a little bit, yeah. But it's almost like meeting like Greek Australians in Greece. Like saying, "Where are you from?" in Sydney and stuff like that. It's like you immediately kind of form a connection with those people, and And so like obviously us growing up together, we I don't know if we seek each other out, but find each other and then hold on to those connections.
Because there is something in common, right? You have like this shared sort of, you may not have a shared history or even known each other for a very long time, but there is things that you can, say that will resonate with the other person. Like Jason talking about his how he grew up, his dad was Greek, his mum embraced all things in Greek culture. It's exactly the same. Like it's exactly what happened with me. My parents, before they had my sister and I, had moved to Greece. So my mum, she lived overseas to do some art school in Paris, but hadn't lived away from, Australia. Moved to Greece and embraced it, learned Greek, spoke Greek fluently, cooked Greek food, taught in a Greek school, like just, completely embodied Greek culture. And then when they came back, obviously, and had a family and we were growing up here, it really was this blend of the two cultures. Because, like mum made really good keftedes and yema stuff. So it was like, those kind of things, like, they would be in my lunchbox and, kids at school might ask what that is. I'll be like, that's meatballs and stuffed vegetables. So, whatever, like Greekified a little bit. But it's those kind of things. It's like, if you have a mother who is very Australian but embraces that kind of culture and got so much out of living in Greece, I think that is something that's passed down for sure. Like, she doesn't have to be Greek to, to embrace Greek culture and really, I guess, take a lot from it.
We had an episode with the former Consul General that said Greekness isn't defined solely by language. And we were slammed online with that. Everyone's saying, yes, it is. But
not everyone.
No, well, now we've got an example where both your mums are of an Anglo background but have embraced Greek culture, cook the food, speak the language. Your mum, Jason, even dancing Greek. It's about, embracing another culture and spreading that Hellenism. And because this is a Greek podcast, we talk about Hellenism. Yeah. And, I think it's great because otherwise it will die down. Your kids probably, I don't know whether they'll end up speaking Greek. You're going to do your best. We'll give them Greek lessons and to teach them Greek. But it's nothing in life is ever a given. What was it like? Because your dad's a bit of a character.
Yes.
So is yours.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
There's another thing in common.
Clones.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up? Like, were you more drawn to your Greek side, or you wanted to feel more your mum's side or your dad's side, or there was no choice? Your dad was very dominant.
No. There was no, like, I genuinely say that I wasn't drawn to one more than the other. They were both very different. For like my dad's side of the family, the Greek side, were really, really close to our cousins, and I think they were a pretty typical mad Greek family in a good way. And then mum's side was, it was bigger. It was a bigger family because she was one of five. She was one of five, and there was lots of other. There was probably a bigger, broader family. There was so many rewarding things about both, and there was no crossover. So it wasn't like, there was we got so much out of each in a different way. If that makes sense. So I think there wasn't like a Hunger Games of culture. It was like they both had equally it was less about the culture.
It has a bit of sense of embarrassment to have a double identity and double culture.
Yeah, definitely.
It will
Definitely, yeah, because like we were saying, you when you're with your Aussie friends or at high school, especially when around that age at the very start, like 13, 14, you're just trying to fit in. And so that's not really the way to kind of go about it. But like, the funny thing is, like, Steph probably had had a slightly bigger family than me and had his Greek cousins here, whereas I have quite a small Greek family and they're all in Greece. So I didn't even have that family dynamic to bounce off growing up. We went to Greece once when I was 13, and then I didn't return again until I'd finished high school. That was the only time I'd ever met my cousins.
And that is very different, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, my dad and his brothers were really, really close. The family, the young people, like, it was like a, we would go to church all the time. We were all the family birthdays, everything East, Husker. It was all, all those cultural events on the calendar were regular and something that we all look forward to. And then, the next day or the same day we go and do mum's side of the family, completely different kind of culture. But yeah, it's different. We had that here.
Yeah.
To think about your dad's family being all in Greece and you kind of knowing about them, but not knowing them would be definitely harder.
Yeah.
And there is a bit of embarrassment till the lunchbox hits the school with the keftedes and the pasticcio.
Yeah.
What's the thing like when you
And then your pride, your Greekness hits the roof.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't have this. It's mine. It's Greek.
I see. That's the thing, though. I would get that stuff, and I would hide what I was eating. I wanted to eat it. No one else was gonna eat it, but I didn't want people to know. Like you were talking about the Vegemite sandwich thing, and I think that's a
You
world.
pull out a Vegemite sandwich.
Yeah,
as a decoy?
pretend one. Yeah, what are you eating? Pulled out of my pocket. But that's like I think that's a worldwide thing. Like even in my big bad Greek wedding, she's hiding a lunch, and the little girl says, "What are you eating?" And she says moussaka, and she says mouskaka. It's obviously like a worldwide thing about like kind of like hiding that cultural thing when you're in another country, when you're not in Greece.
But you see, Christine, after a certain age, like when you're growing up and you're going a bit to
When you're finding yourself.
13, 14, when you're building inside your identity, because till then, it's all just information coming to you, and you want to grow up. That's what you want to do. You just want to grow up and be normal, because to have double identity, it wasn't normal.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a wog. And I think, like the boys' age, comparing to the older ones, the things were tougher back then.
Well,
Or-
try, you'd be in a class and the teacher, and you're in primary school, and the teacher would say, couldn't pronounce your name. And they would say,
Still,
can you spell it? So you're sitting there rambling off 12 letters of your name. You wouldn't have, well, your dad changed his name.
Yeah, so I was spared this thing. My name is a very good Greek name, Stefan Mitchell. So Mitchell, obviously good Scottish surname, but no, my name is Efstathios Megalokonomos. Yeah. And then, so my dad's family were Megalokonomos, and then when they he went back to, long story short, the anglicised shortened version was Konomos. And so my dad, from when he was born to when he was, I think, 12 or something like that, was Peter Konomos. And then the family moved back to Greece for a couple of years. And my papa hadn't finished his compulsory military service
Oh.
before going, yep, that's right. So he went, okay, I got to change my name here. I'm already one step ahead of Scott. So he went to the office of deed, what is it, name and registry office, and went, okay, Konomos is going to give the game away. Megalokonomos is going to give the game away.
that's funny thing with the
Oh, so
names.
that's why you changed it.
So he went and got a phone book, went to M and went Mitzel. Mitzel, great. So the whole family was Mitchells, and they moved to Greece, and they came back a couple of years later. So my dad went back to the same high school. He left Peter Konomos, and he came back, rebrand, Peter Mitchell.
The rebrand, the big rebrand.
Funny.
So we didn't have to, I had never had an issue with spelling a name. That was the one thing I was spared.
My father's name is Savas. So when he came here to Australia, everyone says Sam. Sam. My mom had no English knowledge at all. So Sam was Sam, Semis, Semi, and it stays till it passed away, Semismu, or Semismu.
Sam is more.
Semismu.
See,
I love
my sister, she was baptized Sampho, which is a very famous ancient poet from the island of Lesbos. That was her name. When she was born, she was given the name Sappho. Mum and Dad thought, no, we can't have her as Sappho. Or the teachers pretty much dictated back then, no, you can't use that name.
Really?
Yeah, they'd say, no. I remember, let me digress. I have a friend who was born in Greece, and he came out when he was in primary school. I've lost him now. He passed away a few years ago. He was Panayoti, and his mum took him to school. And when the mother said his name is Panayoti, the teacher said, no, he can't be Panayoti. He's going to be Peter. But when you say Peter, when you've got a Greek accent, it comes out as Peter. It says, your name is going to be Peter. It's going
Brad.
Peter. I went to my sister, Sappho. The teacher said, no, she can't be Sappho. Got to find another name. So then they picked Fifi. So, of course, when you're at school and you're called Fifi, you get called Fifi the poodle, Fifi this. Like they did her no favours.
If it was a nickname, Fifi.
Well, that
Wasn't
was the name she was given when she was at school,
you
Fifi.
serious?
So then moving on to high school, she thought, nah, can't get teased being called Fifi. I'm now Fiona. So
That's right.
when you
But now we all call her Boof anyway. So what if we just stuck with Fifi?
Softball's the best out of it anyway. It's like 7 letters and like Panayoti I get maybe for my dad's Panayoti and Peter. Softball.
Safo, yeah. But back in
It's very unique.
in
Yeah,
that
it's
you just wouldn't. So now when you look at her name on her papers, she's Safo, Fifi, Fiona. Like she's carried all those names and she's adopted them all. Gazebas. And that evolved from the school teacher saying, no, you can't call her Safo at school. How are we going to say Safo? And it evolved to Fiona.
That could not happen today. Isn't that wild? Like, you're a teacher, Jason. Can you ever imagine going, I cannot be, you must read it?
Never. And the only time I would ever get it is there were international kids. They would sometimes come and choose their own name, but never would we dictate their name.
Yeah. Then they would say, it's got to be easy, and they would change your Greek name and give you the Anglo equivalent. So, so Peter Panayoti became Pita, and he was crying because he goes, Pita. Θα είμαι πίτα. Τι πίτα θα είμαι? Πανακοπιτά. Κρεατοπιτά. He really struggled.
That's why actually I kept my son's original name. I didn't change it to Anglo. I kept it Savas at school, and he was the only Savas at school. Who's Savas? Oh yeah, he's over there.
There's only going to be one Savas, yeah.
There's no one else.
And now it's time for our legal segment with Natasha Karamihu. Please note, the content of this podcast is for general informational purposes only. It does not constitute legal, financial, or professional advice. The views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and should not be relied upon for making decisions. Always consult a qualified professional for advice tailored to your situation.
Good morning from Athens. I'm Natasha Karamihu, solicitor and legal advisor to the Greek Podyssey. Today, I will elaborate on a subject I dealt with recently, and I believe it presents a great interest to you all. Mistakes on the Greek registry certificates. So when you lodge a civil action like birth, marriage, or death, you set an appointment at the consulate and you present the foreign registry certificate with apostille, among other documents. If you already possess the Greek citizenship, meaning that you are already registered in the state archives in Greece, the consulate will issue the same certificate in Greek for you. In many cases, your details on the Greek certificate do not correspond to the details on your English one. I give you an example. In my birth certificate, my name is declared as Anastasia with one S, but if under specific circumstances I would like to issue a certificate in English, my name could be transferred as Anastasia with two S's. Another example could be that my surname, Karamihu, could be transferred as Karamihu written with C in front, not K, as a first capital letter. As a result, the two certificates I have in my hands do not match, and if, for instance, I would like to issue my new Greek identity card, I wouldn't be able to do it. What can we do in these cases? Under the Greek law, we can demand a registry certificate correction, in which case are we legit to ask for a correction. The application for correction may refer in particular to A. its compilation or reissuance due to the loss or destruction of the relevant record, B. the completion, change or deletion of an element or elements of its content if they do not correspond to the actual situation at the time of its compilation, or if any change has occurred subsequently which makes the correction necessary. Correction is possible in such cases regardless of whether the incorrect entry is due to a false statement by the persons concerned or to an error from the registrar side. Very important, the civil action must have been registered in the Registrar for Greeks of Diaspora in Athens, Department of the Ministry of Interior Affairs. Under which circumstances the correction of a civil status certificate is valid. For the application to be valid, the incorrect entry must be due to an act of omission, either by the registrar or by the person who made the statement of fact. Such errors, for instance, could be the incorrect entry of a parent's name on the birth certificate of a person. A fairly common case of a requested correction let's say of a birth certificate, is that of a change or completion of one's first name. As has been held on many occasions, such a correction may not be due to an employee's error in the original declaration, but may be justified by an important reason relating to the constitutional right of the free development of personality. An important reason could be the change of name for the security of transactions, or where the existing name has created negative consequences for the individual. Which are the most common civil certificates upon which we request changes? The birth certificate that may include details of one parent only. The marriage certificate that may include wrong information regarding the spouse's surname after marriage. The death certificate because the date of death is not accurate. How do we change the civil certificates in Greece? Through a court order. This is necessary for serious corrections involving such details as place, time, date, or other essential facts. Secondly, by public prosecutor's authorization. Permitted for non-serious changes. Corrections of errors that do not concern the place, date, month, year, and time of birth, or errors of punctuation, grammatical and phonological rules may be made with the permission of the prosecutor's office. Then the registrar will proceed with the correction of the civil status certificate if the following supporting documents are presented to them, namely, a certified copy of the final court decision, a service report of the decision, and a certificate from the court secretariat regarding the non-existence of legal remedies issued 1 month after the service report. Modifications made due to changes in civil status in respective certificates, such as marriage or birth, must reflect the actual family situation, including new family forms. I'm certain that many of you, after following this podcast, will compare your foreign and Greek certificates to look for differences. Just remember that most of the times, details and documents can be corrected following the appropriate legal process. I would be more than happy to respond to your queries. Don't stop following the Greek Podyssey.
I want to ask you, you guys have been forced to maintain your Greekness from your families?
Now, no way.
No, huh?
No, the opposite.
I remember my dad was saying, "You Greek, you must be proud," and my mom would say, "You cretin, you cretin."
Did you call you cretin?
Yeah, not Greek. You cretin. You should maintain.
Cretin or cretin? All right.
No, sorry. You cretin. You should maintain your cretin identity, not Greek.
No, so we've never been forced, but I remember very distinctly my dad whenever was asked, what's your background to us as kids, he'd almost answer on our behalf to start with, they're Greek Australian. Greek always had to be first. That was the one sort of like thing. But I kind of get that as well, because like Australian Greek sounds, I mean, even though literally that's probably more accurate, I like the Greek Australian as the sort of the term for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's forcing us. Like I embrace, I love it. I think the only issue I will have, and I'd be curious to hear, Jason, your opinion on this, especially because you got 2 kids. I wish my parents spoke Greek to us more, particularly my dad, when we were younger, with regularity, because we went to the Greek school. I think my understanding of Greek's better than I haven't spoken of, regularly for a long time. But that's the one thing I'm like, I wish we just
100%. And like I am jealous of Amanda because she was sent to school or preschool not knowing English. So like she was almost like English as a second language.
Yes.
And then learn from there. Now it just comes naturally to her. Whereas Stefan and I both did the Greek school thing. And when you're forced into it, I hated Greek school, hated it. And now, dumb me, sitting here every day doing Duolingo, trying to catch up on years of lessons that I could have actually paid attention in. And the annoying thing is, like, I go to Greece now, and my yaya and papu have passed away. They were the only ones that needed me to speak Greek. My whole family speaks English so well that there's no need. And I'm there for such a short amount of time that I'm learning the Greek language now for myself and to hopefully try and speak with my kids and read to them in Greek and stuff like that. But it's not really for me anymore. Like I don't need to go over there because like my whole family speaks English there.
It's weird with your dad because
It is. Wait, what are you talking about though?
there's a weird aspect to your dad.
But yeah,
Who's dad?
we don't have long.
I'll get to yours in a minute. Your dad is born in Greece and he was raised in Greece. He grew up in Greece. So when I speak to him, I naturally converse with him in Greek. But he always replies in English. He only speaks English to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
I find that really strange.
And I don't know if that's just from being here for so long and...
Well, he wasn't here longer than me.
No, I know, but like maybe working in retail and stuff like that, and speaking English all the time. I'm not sure. He also prides himself on how well he can speak English. He has a very good vocabulary. You can't understand him a lot of the time. Most people like you can understand him, but a lot of my friends growing up would just laugh and smile.
What was it like bringing your friends at home when you were growing up with your Greek dads?
I mean, for me, for me, my dad would be, because he was a language teacher, and so he could speak a lot of languages, and he would probably not dial up the Greekness. It was more just his general, we'll call it unique energy was the thing that distracted them. So it wasn't like they were walking into like this, someone who's like, overtly Greek. It was just an overtly unique individual.
I think when we were younger, my friends firstly wouldn't be able to understand him because he had quite a thick accent when we were younger. But it wasn't until we were older they would love his company because my dad has a good sense of humor. It got to the point where he could joke with us and they thought he was hilarious. Like actually enjoyed conversing with him. But it wasn't until we were older and past that time where you actually like conversing with your friends' parents.
Yeah, you get to that stage where it's nice to converse with when you're an adult and you're...
Yeah, exactly. But when you're in high school, you just want to hang out with your friends. You don't want to sit there talking to you.
I know that I used to like to hang around with my kids' friends. And then I know when it came to the point where they thought, okay, that's enough, Christine, just move along. But, when their friends would come over, I would make them Greek food and try to play Greek music.
I love that.
Get them to embrace that.
To have the full experience.
Yeah.
The experience.
I know we're coming to a Greek house.
My dad didn't need the music and stuff. But he was undeniably Greek. The white singlet, the gold necklace, the hairy chest. It was like
the socks with the sandals.
Yeah, everything. The works. It's like we get it. So it looks like a dress-up party in here.
I did. Last week was my son's birthday, 18, and we had a gathering in a shop here at Greek Tavern at Anmore, and because all his friends finished the HSC, so everyone came. And they were so relaxed. It was the first party after the exams. And they had the best time. Everyone was hugging me, saying, Nick, thank you so much for inviting. Not me, I said, Savas. Thank you very much. It's been an experience having these Greek, vibes and everything. And they really enjoyed it. The food, ouzo, rakomela, everything, dancing, the zorba.
So that's like tying in with all that is also just the Greek hospitality that comes with it. Like when you said earlier, when did you get over the embarrassment and start to embrace it? Not only was it like getting older and traveling to Greece, but it was when our friends, our non-Greek friends, would travel for the first time and they'd go to Greece. Or they'd start going out to dinner and going to Greek restaurants and seeing what the Greek hospitality is like, what the Greek culture is like, what the Greek country is like. And then they're like, oh, so jealous you're Greek.
Yeah, I get it.
And then you're like, that's right, I am Greek. And then you would be, the pride would soar kind of thing.
So, Jason, you were married in Greece and a lot of your friends flew over for the wedding.
Yeah.
And they experienced all of that. How did you feel? Like, were you sort of puffing your chest out really proud, showing off, this is Greece, guys, this is what we're all about? And what was their reaction to everything, the food, the nightlife, the idiosyncrasies?
I think by that stage, a lot of the people that had come to our wedding had already visited Greece. Doesn't mean that the pride wasn't there, but also like the fact that they were all there for my wedding. I had all my closest friends in the world. We also hit a real sweet spot between people being too young and not being able to afford it, and people starting their families. And we really got in the sweet spot where we had all our friends there, like great timing. So yeah, it was amazing. And like, I can't imagine celebrating like one of the best days of my life anywhere else.
And that was in Sirius, eh?
No, that was in Paris.
Paris.
Paris. Okay.
And just before you got into Paros before it blew up as well and became like the
Mykonos.
yeah.
We did go to Mykonos after the wedding.
Yeah,
though,
that
so.
was, we had to make sure everything was okay there. I think that was such a great one. And like, yeah, you hit it on the head. Not only was it a good time in our like lives and the lives of our friends, but it was just such a good experience. Like the whole thing, and it showed Greece. It showed the best of Greece, I think.
Yeah.
And then Mandy arriving to the ceremony on a donkey, like 10 out of 10.
Coming up next, the segment with Helco Consulting and Lucas Theodoro, tips and solutions for all your investments and business needs in Greece.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Greek Podyssey, where we'll be talking all things business in Greece. So we've been touching over the employment sector in the last few weeks, touching on areas like visas and schemes like the work and holiday visa, the digital nomad visa. But most importantly, you might say, okay, well, I'm not a business owner, I don't work remotely, I don't want to come for a year, I want to come for a bit longer. What about just finding a normal job and getting sponsored? What does sponsorship look like here? Now, sponsorship is much easier than your Western countries like the UK or Australia or Canada. It is a much easier process to get a job and find sponsorship because the entry fees and the visa fees are much, much lower in Greece. And you'd be surprised as to finding a job and getting that validation for a working visa. There are just normal working visas that come in the form of residence permits for work purposes that are renewed on a 2 and 3 year basis depending on your sector. That you can come into the job market, have a job lined up, and come and start working. It is a lot easier now to find work in Greece, and especially as a non-Greek or a Greek of the diaspora coming from the US or Canada or in an English-speaking country, to find work as a native English speaker. We are finding that more and more companies, like whether it's the big 4 consulting firms or real estate companies or developers or retail, any sector you can think of, hospitality, tourism, people do admire here native English speakers, and especially international companies that have branches in Greece. We are starting to see more and more through our clients and through working with these companies, as we often do find them staff from abroad, that they are looking for international markets, international knowledge and mindset, and an international perspective from their employees. And that means that they do acknowledge the training, the skills, the insight that someone from another country has, so that their business and their branch of the multinational in Greece can be competitive on a global market. So there is no better time than to start to look at sectors in Greece like hospitality, tourism, the shipping industry, jobs like marketing, sales, business development. All these sectors that we have in our home countries are very much growing and thriving here. And you can find very well paid work, especially with international experience. It is starting to become a lot more recognized and common in Greece to be getting well above industry standard salaries for your experience. And especially with your professionalism and your work history, you can do very well and you can easily line up work in Greece to have ready for a visa like a residence permit for work purposes. And our team is here on the ground to help you and assist you with the legal side of the visa, the accounting side of the visa, and obviously the tax and bank account setup. It is the perfect opportunity, so do not skip thinking about Greece for your next career move.
So as I can understand by your saying, guys, it's like it was a bit of a hassle to be a Greek boy at the beginning, but after, when you pass a certain age, then it became a pride, and you start enjoying your Greekness and whatever surrounds and includes this this Greek. Is that correct?
I think that's spot on. I think as I got older and could really appreciate what it meant to come from have a Greek heritage, I embraced it a lot more. But I never really hid away from it. I just don't think I fully realized how brilliant it was for so many different. It's not just about the food. It's not just about the the music and the cultural events. It's not just the history. It's not just, but it's all of that. And it's so few countries, I think, have. I mean, every country's got its own history and its own culture and things that they celebrate. But there's something very unique about Greece. Maybe it's because it's been around for millennia and there is so much of that history, and the country's gone through so much. And I don't think I appreciated that fully until I was older and able to understand. But yeah, I think it's.
Do you have family? You have kids?
No.
You don't have?
No kids.
Okay.
Your twin sister, I don't see her as Greek as you, though, Sandy. Is she? How does she fit into
No,
this?
but so I disagree. That's maybe a perception. But she, Sandy, is fiercely, proudly Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there was a time that she speaks Greek pretty well.
She does speak Greek.
Yeah.
Right.
She cooks amazing Greek food. I think maybe when she was early, and I'm not going to, I'll speak for her, even though she's not here. But I think when she was maybe mid-teens, it took her probably a longer time to become, I was probably less scared of being, embracing that thing. I think Sandy took a little bit longer, but she's super, super, super proud of her Greek heritage.
What about Thomas?
I mean, Thomas, you can see Thomas from 450 meters away and you go, oh, there's a Greek guy.
He knows what he got in there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think he's sort of proud. No, we're all kind of proud about Greek heritage.
You know what really impresses me? That you all still call your dad. You call your dad Baba.
Yep.
Yeah, but I never did.
No, you didn't. I didn't either.
No.
All my friends call my dad Baba.
Yeah, we all call him Baba. I think half the people that refer to Thomas and Stefan and Sandy's dad don't know his first name.
Mm-hmm.
It's Baba.
He's Baba.
It's Baba.
Yeah. His moniker now, yeah.
Know that.
But the funny thing about when you said, do you think it was, I think talking to us, being half Aussie, half Greek, and that's not taking away of how proudly Australian we are as well. I'll ask you, if Greece was playing Australia in the soccer, who are you rooting for?
Oh, I've never thought.
See, I'm rooting for Australia.
Yeah. I mean, I know more about.
But the minute Greece plays, but I'd say I wouldn't be devastated that Australia lost to Greece.
No,
like I would to other countries.
To the World Cup in Brazil, Jason and I to support the Socceroos.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that kind of answers that question. But yeah, luckily I can't remember them Greece and Australia ever playing.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
They did one. They did one.
Who do you think I'd support?
I can only guess. I can only speculate.
Let's move to that side. What are your views on
EU migration?
My notes are.
You're reading our notes from the previous episode. On Greece and Turkey and those conflicts, do you feel indifferent towards it? Do you feel ethnic pride towards Greece and preserving that? And the same with the debate that always goes on who owns history between Alexander the Great, Macedonia being Greek.
I'm more indifferent than anything else. I'll playfully have arguments with Macedonians.
Well, see, the first thing I would say to you is don't call them Macedonians.
Exactly.
Sorry, because
which is why I said it.
Yeah, which is why you said it to one back. Yeah.
But I'll playfully have arguments regarding that just to get a rise out of them because I have friends that are
North Macedonians.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, I don't take it all too seriously. I mean, I know that you're very passionate about it, but it's not something that
I think that's going to come later when you get older. You'll become as passionate.
You know what? It doesn't have the same. It's not the same issue here in Australia as it is in Greece. That's totally different. Two things. Like the Macedonian issue is not that heavy here in Australia.
I think it is with our generation, Nico. I mean, you can see on our podcast, it's one of the main things that people comment on. We get slammed. When we talk about Greek history, they all jump on.
Yeah, but you see the names, it's Petrovic, Vinicius,
And they say you don't have
everyone's
history.
like guided.
They say, you don't have history. I go, well, who was Homer? Who was Pericles? Who was Aristotle?
That's a strange accusation to say that Greeks
No,
don't
they
have.
say your history is made up. They see Greece, Hellas, as being formed in 1821, which it was after the revolution, after the occupation. But that doesn't wipe away.
They can't connect the Hellenic state, as it was before, with the Greek state, the Greek nation now. So they say that's two different things.
Yeah, that's
because Greeks were only the Athenians and blah blah this and that.
All separate states.
Regardless, everyone speaks Greeks, and so that's the new agenda they're using now. The last 40 years. So that's what they've been taught at school.
So
that's interesting. I didn't realize that. I mean, I think in terms of the Greek-Turkey relations, I think that is an issue that is definitely more prevalent to my father's generation. Like, I know his feelings are stronger on it than mine. I understand, the history and the importance of, what happened. But I think that is definitely something that is, in my world, resonates, evokes a stronger reaction from like my father's generation. But I think the Greek, it's almost like semantic war over what is Greece versus, Hellas versus whatever, and where is the history. I think I don't buy into that at all. I think
Yeah.
So being Greek to you is about the food, the music, the culture, but you're not that into researching the history.
I love the
No,
history.
I love the history as well, but I don't see any point in me loving the history of Greece. I don't see any point in getting upset over things like that. That's why I find it. I like saying I'm indifferent towards it. Yeah.
I mean, we don't get upset about it. And to be honest,
Don't we?
Look, I traveled to Turkey and I didn't know what to expect. I had preconceived ideas of what I thought I would see, and they were smashed when I got there. I found Turkish people to really be embracing of Greece. And then I realized, no, it's the governments. It's not the people.
Well, that's the thing. I've also been to Turkey and I loved it. Like, loved Istanbul, loved like all on the coast, like along Fethiye and stuff. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not the general people.
And in fact,
But you like the people online, like, and look, if it's the people on Facebook of your generation that are arguing each other online, it's all people that just feel exactly the same way that you feel about Greece, that they feel about their culture.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's just a bunch of boomers arguing with each other.
I'll agree with that.
I was waiting.
Little echo chamber.
I was waiting for the boomer thing to come out, and you didn't disappoint.
Yeah, good.
So, what you guys doing to preserve your Greek identity and how you pass it on to your friends, to your family? Because that's another thing, that we don't only have to be Greek, but we have to preserve our.
I mean,
identity.
with my kids, the same way that Christine does. I mean, like we'll play Greek music, we cook Greek food. I have my mother-in-law coming over probably too often, and like cooking Greek food, delicious Greek food, mind you, but constantly.
Yeah.
And like she speaks Greek around them. Like my wife's extended family also all make an effort to speak Greek around the kids as well. Like we have Greek books at home, so there's that. And like when we have friends over to our house, it's the same kind of thing. Like we as hosts, we try to emulate that Greek hospitality. Where again, playing Greek music, serving Greek food. I mean, most times that people come over, it's definitely going to be like souvlakia with a dakos and stuff. Like that's people can assume they're going to get that when they come over.
Yeah, they're expecting that.
Yeah, pretty much. I think nowadays, yeah.
I think it's similar. Like with my friends, I remember when I was like 18, 19, going to university, I went, there was friends from different backgrounds and different like socioeconomic backgrounds from where I grew up. And I, like pretty early on, was like, there's this great place. We're all spending a lot of time in Newtown. Like, let's go to Sticky Taverna. It's an amazing Greek restaurant around there. You'll love it. It'll be a great time. I think it was the first time a lot of them had gone to a Greek restaurant, and they loved it. So it's kind of like you were talking about before with your sons.
It was a steaky I
It's-
was talking about.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of it's like cultural like promotion, but you know, in the subtle kind of way. It's like come, you'll love this. The food will be good, you'll enjoy it, and then you know
And they all dance.
they all dance, tables cleared.
Then
I'm pretty sure it was the last place you could smoke inside a restaurant in Australia.
Yeah. and, you know, and that's
About
the thing,
5 years ago.
the soft promoting isn't even needed anymore because I've got people asking me all the time, like, what's the best Greek restaurant to go to? How do you rate this one? And I'm like the guide to what's the best Greek restaurants in Sydney because I've obviously hit them up so many times.
Yes.
Culture
Yeah.
ambassador.
Exactly.
The
That's
millennial
right.
generation.
Yeah.
Well, now that you're on the Greek Podyssey, you're there. You're sort of
I'm there.
Greek
I'm there now.
I want to hear more about your thoughts on the Don't. No, okay. So,
say.
I think your thoughts on Turkey a bit.
I bet you do. Indifferent.
Yeah. Next. What's your favourite lasting legacy of the Ottoman Empire?
You start.
You know the cutoff between boomer and a millennial.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Okay, so Gen Z, what are they going to see? I'll be so curious. Your kids, Jay, are they Gen Z? Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha.
Gen
I
Alpha,
think,
that'll
yeah.
be.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing.
Well, this is a great letter.
Your son's Gen Z, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah. Because the next one's Gen
next
Alpha.
one.
They've even started on the Greek alphabet now. See, it's all happening.
yeah. So I'm curious to see, like, what will that mean to Generation Z, the next two generations? What is Greek culture and legacy like? How does it distill down?
How is it going to look?
Yeah.
I think with my kids, it'll be very similar to my upbringing. I mean, like, it's funny to think that my kids are by blood more Greek than I am. Like, like I'm half Greek. They're
right.
they're 3/4 Greek.
Mm.
So my nephews are the only ones that are the same as me. They're half Greek and I'm half Greek. So I've got two nephews, Cosmo and Basil.
And children are more Greek than you are.
My children are more Greek than me by blood, yeah. But the thing is, like, because I married a Greek on both sides, it's almost like the Greekness is as prevalent as it was for me growing up, if not more so.
But your nephews, they're going to experience a different Greekness because
But not necessarily, because like Andrew's Greek, and Jade is Aussie. That's the same as what I had growing up, and I grew up in the Shire just like they did.
no, but you had a Greek parent. Jade comes from
But Andrew's
Australian-
Greek.
Yeah, but his wife comes from two Aussie parents, so she's got no Greek connection. You married a Greek girl.
No, I'm talking about my experience
your
growing
kid.
up. No, my experience growing up. So
As a kid, yeah.
I've embraced my Greek heritage now. I'm saying that they probably will as well, because they're coming from the exact same experience I had. Greek dad, Aussie mum, growing up in the Shire. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And earlier when you were saying like was it harder for us, and then it got easier as we got older. I think that was because of our circumstance though. Like growing up in the Shire, there were so few of us. Whereas like I went to kindergarten at a Greek school, and then my parents moved me to a school in the Shire. So I think if you grow up surrounded by Greeks, your experience might be very different.
Totally different.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I
of course.
see those kids as being more Greek than what my kids were going to the school that they went to, because it was essentially 50% of the kids were Greek.
Exactly.
Yeah. You, Christine, do you maintain your Greekness as a Greek mother-in-law?
Well,
That's a good question. Eh?
absolutely.
Up to what level?
The
Be careful
level.
what you're going to say. You must be very careful what you're going to
No.
say.
To the nth degree.
Maybe sometimes you over.
I am opinionated. I have a key to the door. I let myself in.
You have your own key?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I go straight to the kitchen.
Even when the locks
cook.
are changed, from what I hear. Somehow this master key, someone's learned to pick locks.
I assert my Greekness to the point where, I don't know, to what point? There is no
There is no limit. That's why what I'm asking, because a Greek mother-in-law is sometimes overreacting. It's like that's the pethera.
I'll give you an
You know
example.
what I'm saying? You know
I
you know
know,
what
and
I'm
I'll give you a
coming
classic example. My daughter-in-law's Australian, and when I go over and I take over the household and the kitchen, and she said, I really need to start either a TikTok or an Instagram and call it My Greek Mother-in-Law and just tape the things that you say to me when you come into my kitchen. Like, how can you not have this in your kitchen? Why have you run out of that from your kitchen?
Oh my
You know,
God.
why? You know, and
You
she
shame
goes,
her.
I said, "Do you not have this in your kitchen?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "I want to pull out my camera now and I just want to video you." And I reckon it would be a hit sensation, My Greek Mother-in-Law.
That's a good project, actually.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a good project.
I said, do it, Jane, do it. Yeah.
Because, yeah, that's the thing of the Greek mother-in-law. It's totally different from the Aussie Greek
Totally different.
mother-in-law. Because Aussie mother-in-laws are more cool. They're looking
Really?
forward to get away, you know, to have their own life after the kids are grown up and they have families. But the Greek mother,
She hangs around.
yeah,
Waiting, watching,
yeah, that's
Waiting.
biding her
like,
time.
I was at my son's house and I love his mother-in-law. I love her to death. She's very chilled, exactly what you just described. She's very chilled. And I said, "What are we going to give the kids for lunch?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know, I'll just make a Vegemite sandwich." I went, Greek mother in the house. And I pulled out a saucepan. I said, "I'm going to make lunch." She laughed.
Any other things, Jason? What about quick fire?
Quick fire, Jason. You're always quick off the mark. You know, you're always meant to be a comedian in life, remember?
Yeah, according to my extremely Greek father. Yeah.
I say to the kids sometimes, you've got to learn to speak Greek. And they say, "I don't want to." And when I talk, when I speak Greek with Amanda, Poppy will say, "What are you saying?" I go, "Well, you've got to learn to speak Greek if you want to know what we're saying about you."
But you must know that they do understand. So that's the training part. And sometimes they're not talking because they're shy to talk and they think that they don't.
It's not important to them. They're too young. Did you have Gringlish at home?
Yes. Very much
100%,
so.
yeah, definitely.
But that was like from my young, but even because they came emigrated out here in the 50s to work in, you know, like that whole of the, yeah. And like by the time I think they were older, it was like Gringlish was almost the first language in the
Give us some examples of your
A
Greek.
lot of them I noticed are like things that you say twice, once in Greek, once in English. Elakam. Or kita look.
Yeah.
So my daughter says that now. Ari, she'll call her brother over. Ari, kita look, kita.
That's good. Because Greeklish actually saved the generation from...
Greeklish, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's actually become a language of its own, hasn't it? When you're looking at language formation, it's become its own dialect.
And I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's my dad did it a lot as well, but I think it's almost because when you're speaking English for so long, like my dad did, he'd almost like not be able to remember the words in Greek fast enough, and he'd want to continue his train of thought, so just go to English. And I think so many other people of that same ilk of being like Greeks living in Australia would just all do that, just to keep the conversation going.
I'm a Greek born in Australia.
Yeah.
You know, Sydney girl, born and bred. I speak a lot of Greek, a lot more than what I used to in my youth. Predominantly, I speak Greek.
Yeah.
Nico, we always speak Greek to each other. And there are times when I forget the English word now.
Oh, you've gone.
That's been-
Yeah, you've gone the other way.
I've gone the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forget, and I think,
You're full ESL. Yeah.
Going backwards.
Do you speak Greek to Mandy?
no. But I do when...
You don't want Jason to know what you're
Yes.
talking about.
No.
I know. I can understand.
No, he understands. I
Yeah.
do, and I want the kids to understand.
Yeah.
But the kids won't, yeah.
Well, that's what my son does. When I'm calling him and he's with his friends, he speaks to me in Greek. He says, "Ella, τι θέλεις?"
Yeah.
I say, "Oh, you're with your friends, okay? Yeah."
But you speak Greek at home with Sava.
We mixed, but it's like 50-50, and I'm doing it because I want to
Practice your English.
practice my English, because my English, like,
It's not. It's great.
Yeah, English is great.
yeah, thank you.
When we started the podcast, Nico and I used to do a radio show, and it was all in Greek. It was a Greek radio show. When we decided to switch to podcast, we thought, now, which language will we do it in? I said, we need to do it in English purely because it has more universal appeal, because we want to attract everybody over to, you know, Hellenism and history and educating them and reaching out to the worldwide diaspora of Philhellenes as well. So let's do it in English. And it was a bit of a struggle for Nico, but he said, it doesn't come
I don't know
naturally.
if I can do it like properly. But thank God, editing, it's a great tool. To correct. Wrong.
Yeah. You can always just subtitle yourself as
Or
well.
do you do that?
Exactly.
An AI voice.
But the most I speak Greek now is exactly that. It's when Amanda and I are having a conversation and we don't want the kids to know what I'm saying. And even though I know I'm saying I'm butchering the Greek language.
Say something in Greek.
Well, let's say I want to say about cooking the kids dinner, but I don't want them to know what I'm saying because I don't want them to know and then say, yeah, we want that.
Yeah.
So I'll say something like, I want to say, but I don't know what the word sweet potato is in Greek. So I'll say glika patata.
Yeah, that's good. Actually,
And Mandy knows what I'm saying and the kids don't, so it'll work.
That's good. That's good.
No, that's very good, Jace.
Yeah.
I understood what you said.
Exactly. That's the point. As long as I can get it across. That's the thing. When I try to speak Greek with my cousins, I'll say something like that. They'll piss themselves laughing because I've butchered the language, but they know what I'm saying.
But that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. I can do it myself.
I need to commend you for that because you grew up as Greek as your second language, essentially.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like now my cousins have got their own kids and they're learning English. So I go over and sit with these two 10-year-olds and we test each other on our English and Greek. That's good.
I can even my son has that. Like some difficult Greek words for him because he does Latin as well. So he speaks Latin. He's very good at that. And he can transform the words and he can imagine the root and he connects it. But sometimes the words are a bit funny, the difficult ones.
Yeah.
But that's all right. Okay. Yeah, just keep doing.
Keep going.
Don't be.
That's another thing though. Learning Greek, I need to know how the word came to be. But the thing is, Amanda is the worst teacher because I'll say, why is it like that? If this is this and this is this, like a really good example is like, igata togala. Why is it why is it to? Why is it neutral? Why is it feminine?
Hard.
Right? And Mandy won't be like, this is the reason why. That's just an example, but she'll just be like, just remember it. That's the way it is. Just remember it, which makes so much sense because I should just remember it. Yeah. And that's the way it is.
But I ask those things of Nico as well because with my Greek, which I consider to be quite proficient, I still have those questions. So I'm messaging Nick and I said, when is it ti, to? Or why is it masculine? Why is it feminine? How do you decide to say, or, why is it takithira or ikriti or...
Yeah, so the islands are a really interesting one, how most of them are feminine. And there's only like maybe 2 or 3 islands that are masculine or something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, what determines that?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to know that too.
And there's no reason really.
And that's why in the season 3 we're gonna have a friend from New York who's gonna teach us a few Greek on the season 3. We're gonna have a few small segments with why we're doing that and helping Greek Americans, Greek Australians to understand better.
I'll have to tune in for that one though.
It's not an easy language to learn.
No.
But if you're able to communicate and say
yes, that's actually what it is. He's a teacher. He knows how to do the connection.
Do you have Greek as a language at the school you teach at?
Yeah, we do actually at the moment. Yeah, but at my previous school we didn't. It was Japanese the last I was there, and now it's Italian and Greek. We have now. So in year,
is it a popular subject?
Italian is, Greek isn't. So, but in year 8 they do Italian and Greek.
That's weird that they.
But it's mandatory. Language is mandatory in year 7 and 8, I think. And so when they get to year 11. You can choose to do a lot of languages, but we only have Italian. There is a girl who I was at my school recently, and she did Greek externally.
See, why wouldn't schools give that as an option? And why Italian over Greek?
There's not enough staff. There's not enough staff that teach it.
Is it a staffing issue or a demand issue?
I had a bunch of students that did Korean, Greek, Vietnamese, Chinese, and there's beginners, continuers, extension, but they do it externally via either Saturday school or distance education.
You know the useless language we were taught in high school?
What?
It was mandatory? Indonesian.
You've been
Yeah.
taught Indonesian.
Indonesian.
You've been taught.
We
You been
did
to Bali?
Indonesian.
How was Indonesian? Did you want to?
But I mean,
I'm still gonna be
at the end of the
nothing
day,
Only because it's the most populous neighbour we have.
but that makes more sense than learning Greek.
Well, it's not a foundation language.
But why does it need to be a foundation language? Like, if anything, anyone that they should be using now is Spanish and Mandarin worldwide, for worldwide
Well,
use.
firstly, if you want to study medicine or science, Greek is what's going to help you, not Indonesian.
There's a lot of people that have become doctors without learning Greek.
I understand that. But
Do you?
why Indonesian? Who do you come across in the world? You come across people who think, yeah, I speak Greek. I say, who speaks Indonesian?
Indonesians.
Come on, mate.
But that's the thing. Like,
It seems like it's an. I hear what you're saying, but I get the rationale of they're going
Yeah.
to a really big place. It's just there. It's 3 hours from Perth. But yeah, I think Mandarin or
Spanish that's used more across the world. Well, Spanish you can go to Spain and then anywhere in South America.
Yeah.
Mexico,
Central America.
Central America, yeah.
And then I think if you have fundamental understanding of any of those Latin-based languages, and I think there is parts of Greek that does
Overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if you've got an understanding of a Latin-based language, you're a step ahead of most people.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, no many people speak Greek. Otherwise, we can't chit chat.
That's the thing. Because my wife's favorite thing to do is speak English loudly and then wait for Greek people to have conversations around her.
Why?
So then she can listen to their conversation.
She baits them in.
Yeah, she baits them in. Because she'll sit down there and then she'll be like, they're talking about us. Oh, really?
Once I was in Crete. We were traveling around with a friend of mine. I was 16 years old. We went to northern part of Libyan Sea to stay there privately in Crete for a few weeks with tents, and I was carrying on a loaf of bread in my bag, and I was listening. It was an old lady, grandma behind me, a Cretan lady, Κοίτα τον με το ψωμί μέσα στην τσάντα. Αυτό μέχρι να φτάσει θα μου κλιάσει. And I was listening. It was fun.
You know what he just said?
Look, Kita, look at him carrying the bread in his bag, and then I lost you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't translate the second half.
By the time
After
he gets
Sunday, I was
there,
like, I'm out. I'm going to go learn Indonesian.
so you need to speak Greek more.
Yeah.
I'm off to learn Indonesian. I didn't retain a single word of Indonesian from my high school.
That's good.
Indonesian.
Considering you think it's a useless language, probably a good thing.
Look, with all due respect to Indonesians, I love your cuisine. I love Indonesian food. Just didn't get having to learn the
That's one language, yeah.
So, heading to closing this episode, what do you see? How's the future of the Greek community here
in your generation?
In your generation, in Australia, and in.
I think it depends on the family. I mean, I know some people that are in a similar situation to Stefan and I, like with our upbringing and stuff, that maybe don't want to embrace it as much. Then you've got people like Stefan and myself that do embrace it. Like my wife and I will try and take the kids to culturally significant things, and to like when we travel to Greece, we take them to culturally significant sites, and we try to take them to things, Greek cultural events or Greek festivals that are happening in Sydney as well. So I just think it really depends on the family. Whereas there's people that are similar from our generation that know the language back to front, that are married to a Greek, that their families are all Greek and they live with their family, and the culture's like embedded into their life so much more than ours that I don't really see that it's going anywhere. I just think it'll probably just stay the way that it is now. Yeah.
What are you, before we wrap up, what are your views on the Parthenon marbles?
No, it must be returned.
Thank God I got the first question.
The Parthenon marbles from the British Museum.
Yes.
I think it's disgraceful that the British Museum still has them, and that this is even a conversation that's still happening. I think, there are a lot of arguments to be made about where the collections of museums from around the world where some of their things come from. But I think in particular, the Parthenon marbles, given the history and the significance and how they came,
How they were taken.
right,
Yeah.
was what sets this particular these artifacts apart. And I've seen them in the British Museum. And it was on the same trip that I had been to, was it Field Wedding? No, maybe it was, I'd been to Athens first. I went and saw the new museum at the Acropolis, the whole thing there. And then I went to London and saw the Parthenon marbles there. And it was just sad.
It was
sad,
sad.
yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing? And they know it. Everyone, it's a bit like, they know.
cringe.
It's
It's especially after you've gone to the Acropolis Museum, you're like,
And you can
it's like,
see
is that like a
the
missing
creation.
part?
Yeah,
It's
it's a weird thing.
The argument they used to have is we're looking after them because you don't have the right type of museum. Along comes the Acropolis Museum,
Which is
blows it out of the water.
outrageously good and like state of the art.
I suggest you listen the episode 6 of the season 2 where we host Ellie Simons from the Greek Australian Committee for the Returns of the Marble.
The unification.
The
She's
unification.
she's the representative there for the reunification.
Oh, well, listen.
Stephen Fry is a huge advocate, and he speaks really well on the return of the.
He's a huge advocate for the Greek culture in general, though. Like all his books are written around like Greek mythology. He speaks ancient Greek, I think.
Yeah, he's fabulous. So the marble situation, I think we're making a little bit of leeway. Elgin had said, the British said there was, because we were under Ottoman occupation, they signed a paper giving permission. And then Turkey says, no, we can't, no such document is in existence. So bit by bit, all their arguments are being, slashed. We're getting close.
We're heading towards, yeah.
I reckon it'll happen. It's too on the nose.
Yeah, it has to.
It's a bit, what are we, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 13?
Now we go. By the time that
You're just going to go and knock them
they'll
off.
return,
After the last Loot heist, maybe, yeah.
Can't be that hard. Just get yourself a motorbike.
Anyway, no, I just wanted to know what your generation's views were on something that is so, matters a lot to Greece and the Greek people. Does that dilute as the generations? So I'm very proud to know.
I think it's individual, right? Like some people are interested in history and that kind of thing, and other people are just oblivious.
I just think history is important because it tells you where you've come from, and then when you know where you've come from, then you know where you're going. I think.
Yeah.
Can't lose.
Very nicely
That's
said.
true.
I also don't. I got to say, I don't think it's a generational thing. I think you guys are obviously well read and are very proud of your history, but there would be Greek Australians or Greeks living in Australia of your era that are indifferent or don't care as well,
Very
Even
true.
Greeks
Very
in
true.
Greece.
or uneducated, whatever the case may be.
Even Greeks in
Greece.
Greece.
So I don't know if it's a generational thing. I think it's just an individual thing. Yeah, because I think there would be people that are more passionate about it than we are. But it's not. I don't think it's a generational thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I thought it was because as it sort of moves along,
can be wrong.
it doesn't matter. Can I?
Are you sure?
First time, guys.
Anyway, thank you so much. We really enjoyed having
Thank you.
on.
It was absolute capitato to be here.
Thank you. It was lovely.
Do you have any takeaways? Anything you want to add or?
I need to go and brush up on my history of the Ottoman occupation. I feel like yeah.
Really, the lights felt hot on for that one.
Do you feel like you want to come back and we'll do an episode in Greek?
No. Be a very long episode. If we center it around like sweets and potatoes,
And
perfect.
Done. Great.
Perfect.
More jokes.
We can do that. We can do that one.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us on this episode. Please like and follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We've got our Instagram, Spotify, Apple, or we're everywhere. You can find us everywhere. Thank you to our wonderful sponsors. Please don't miss the episodes of Natasha Karamichou, our legal correspondent, and Lucas, our business development person that will help you with all your investment opportunities in Greece. They're getting great traction, and we're happy to help. Any questions, please put them in the comments and we'll pass them on to Natasha and Lucas. Thank you very much and join us next time.
I want to say thank you very much for coming here
Thank
today.
you, Stefan.
Stefan, thank you, Jason. Say hi to your mother-in-law.
I'll try my best,
Yeah.
man. I mean, it's pretty easy. She'll probably be back over tonight as well. So
She's moved in, right? She should be proper Greek mother-in-law. Should be living in the house.
she normally hangs from the rafters, wrapped in her own wings. So
I know what the next episode is. Greek mother-in-law. That's a full episode by
You know what? You
itself.
can almost do it could be like a reality TV show where, you're building a multi-generational home. And the Greek.
I think you need to stop talking now, Stefan.
You're pitching a new concept.
Yeah.
You produce it. You live in it with us.
You can produce it.
Thank you very much, boys. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thanks for having us.
And looking forward for the next subject.
Next subject will be Greek mother-in-laws.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Mothers-in-law.
Thank you, everyone, for
Okay.
listening and watching our episodes. It's been a pleasure.
Till next time.
Entertain you and educate you if we had.
We've
from us.
definitely-
And see you in the next one.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye-bye.
I'm Christine Stavropoulos,
Κι εγώ ο Νίκος Σαμίδης. Και αυτό είναι το Greek Podyssey, το podcast της ομογένειας.
a podcast for Hellenes worldwide, sharing stories, culture, identity, laughs, and a little bit of tougrisma along the way.
Γιατί μπορεί να φύγαμε από την Ελλάδα, αλλά η Ελλάδα δεν έφυγε ποτέ από μας.